Hello friends, I made this for and welcome. My name is Lauren and I am a art teacher, artist, astrology fan, tarot reader here in Philadelphia, PA. And today we're talking about Leo season through the tarot. So if you've never been here before, hi, how are you? Welcome. If you've been here before, you already know the deal. I love looking at each season through the tarot and its corresponding cards. So I have 3 decks that I'm going to be using as reflections into this season. And they're all the same card, but from 3 different decks. And the card that goes with our good friend Leo is Strength. You already know that. But here you are, and here we are together. Thank you so much for being here. If you like the video, please like, comment, subscribe. Support me by checking out my Patreon, patreon.com/subnormalchild. If you're watching this from Patreon, hi. But with that said, let's get into it. So the 3 decks that I want to use is the Smith-Waite deck, like you saw, the classic Always. I love this deck. I'm also going to be using the Apparition Spirit Speak Tarot deck. Very beautiful deck, and actually very complex take on this card. And then we have the Holy Spectrum Tarot, another solid deck here. So with that said, let's dive in. It's been a while, but life has been a little crazy, hasn't it? And I think that's kind of so perfect with Strength and this Leo energy. So these are our 3 teachers today. Let's break it down. This is a very classic card to very modern, right? Let's start with the classic take on Strength. So right off the bat, the way that I kind of internalize this card as Leo, well, there's a few things here, right? We see that this person is touching a lion with just the calmest expression. A very scary situation being handled with grace. And we see that this symbol, the infinity symbol, is above the head of the figure, same as what we see in the Magician. So this is kind of an interesting thing if we think back, what was something that we maybe got from the Magician, right? Having all your tools in front of you is a big thing with that card. Well, here we see grace under pressure. A big way I like to look at this card, a big phrase that comes up for me is soft power. This person is not attempting to overpower this lion. They are almost caressing it and caring for it and just calmly petting the lion, specifically the mouth of the lion. And to me, this is really reflective of this grace, soft power, not having to yell or fight to achieve the ultimate goal. But what's the goal? Well, let's look at that through the Holy Spectrum Tarot, actually. So the goal, and of course we see this infinity symbol again, which is actually a pretty big symbol in this deck. You see it used over and over for this journey, this never-ending journey of the soul, and growth and change and constant, and like the constants of change is kind of what this feels like in this deck. We see the softness, we see this lion, or maybe even a bear. It's a lion. We see the softness again, looking into the eyes. And so we can kind of take away themes around, and of course it's a very literal representation to this card. We can kind of take away some themes of softness for reflection's sake. almost a little bit like Gemini, where we're seeing a reflection here, but it's different. So what does that mean? We're looking into the eyes of something maybe we can't relate with on the surface and digging within to find that relationship, finding the strength to overcome something scary without being scared. And it's not necessarily because you're just not afraid, but you've come to terms, you're at peace with what you can and cannot control. And that, I think, is really good medicine for Leo this year. We're literally going through a shift right now with Jupiter dipping back into Aquarius. We're kind of seeing this shift back to some old things that were happening in 2020 with lockdowns and mask mandates being reinstated. And I've seen some astrologers talk about that relationship between Aquarius and how that's coincided. So if we can take this as a medicine for Leo season, it's that softness and strength of being able to show up in your authentic self, even when things are fucking scary. And I think there's a lot of medicine there. We can look the scary thing in the eye and say, I do not have control over you, but I have control over me. And that's a big, good lesson that we can be taking away from Leo season or just Leo medicine in general. It's the belief in self. It's the understanding that I have the ability to self-soothe. I can take care of me. We could even see this lion as the presence of the how to put this? The wild one within us, the wild emotions within us, and saying it's okay to feel, it's okay that you are here, you are valued, but you do not control the situation. I'm giving more grace to what's happening than just animalistic reaction to a situation. I am going to say it's okay. You could almost see this card as a mothering of self, which I think is really powerful. Again, last year or 2 years ago, I made a video about this very same card. And I believe, I'll link it down below so we can reflect together, I guess. But I believe one of the biggest takeaways besides that this is kind of crazy, this concept, is that it really shows the power of calm, soft power. Again, it's not trying to overcome and forcefully take down this lion. The strength comes in the resolve and grace facing what's in front of us. And I think there's something so incredibly powerful about that. The unknown is scary. The unknown being this almost shadow. But we can embrace our strengths, our abilities to stand up for ourselves, our ability to take care of ourselves, our ability to ask for help if we need it. Because asking for help can be a scary thing. And that's something we also have to remember, is the beast that is in front of us takes many forms. It can be inside us, it can be outside us. But ultimately, we have so much control, even when we don't feel like it. One quote that I saw that I really love for this card, actually, as I'm talking about this. We can't control our emotions, but we can control what we do with our emotions. And I think that's such a true fucking like real thing. Our emotions happen. We process them. Sometimes they're very painful. Sometimes they're overwhelmingly good. And what we do with those emotions, the emotions are not us. We are not our emotions. But ultimately, what we do with those emotions, that's where our power, our character, It's where we can find our strength. So let's dive into our last card, the Apparition Spirit Suite Tarot. This card, this interpretation of the card, I have to like pull out the book and just kind of read a little insert for you, because I think there's some really good medicine here that the artist and writer comes up with. But this is a reflection of Lilith. So if you're not really aware of Lilith, Lilith is a biblical character. I have definitely heard conflicting information. Some people say the books that included her were taken out because they were written after. Some people say they were written at the same time. I've seen conflicting information on the Lilith mythology, but I digress. Lilith, the first woman in the Garden of Eden, this is a quote from the book, by the way. I'm not just saying this from the Spirit Speak book, was cast out because she refused to lie under Adam. She defied God's command. When God threatened to kill unborn children in her name until she returned, she refused, despite the more than grim consequences. Although she could have saved the grief of many mothers, she could not sacrifice her integrity. Wow. She would not be the first woman subservient for the many to come after, but that she was forever demonized. In living our truths, we sometimes encounter unimaginable resistance. If you feel your hand tensely gripping the white flag, hear my voice. For your resilient spirit comes a well of strength that runs even deeper than you can see. My heart is with you now. You can do this. Okay. So resolve, integrity. Integrity is a big word for this card. Soft power has been my word for this, or my like phrase for this card for the past like 3 or 4 years. But I'm definitely like feeling that integrity. And I think that's a good place to evolve too. What is soft power about? Well, soft power is just the act of saying no. Just saying no to something that you don't want to do or that you say is not good for you. And so I love this reflection for strength being Lilith, because this is very Lilith energy in a way. It's not violent, but it could really shake shit up to stand in your power and your strength and your resolve. You have a desire to do something the way you want to do it. And you don't have to yell, you don't have to scream. You just have to stand strong. And that's kind of the strength that I get out of the Strength card, or what I'm really reflecting on with the Strength card right now. Again, this is just my interpretation. Some of this comes from teachers, people who I follow. Kathleen Callahan, Daughter of Wands, Aaron Johnson, and I'll leave all the links in the description box for other people to just honor my lineage. But with that said, soft power is resilience. I hope you are able to step into that state of soft power this summer as we deepen our connection with this time of the year and really just embrace summer in this way. Please stay safe and just take lots of deep breaths, channeling. That's strength, y'all. Things are going to get very strange, I think, astrologically. At least that's what I'm seeing. There's a lot of contention around the interpretation of what's coming up. I'll definitely be talking about that a little bit more. But with that said, I hope this was supportive. Other links, of course, to work with me or to work with me in Patreon down below. I also have a podcast about art and spirituality. My Patreon is about empowering yourself as art through ritual. And I love using tarot and astrology to kind of add to that juicy yumminess that is, how do we tap into what's going on? So with that said, have a beautiful day, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.